Leafs Nation, this is where it starts to feel real. Victor here. We're on a 3-game win streak. The schedule coming out of the Olympic break looks manageable. There's still a pulse in this playoff race, and yet the likely-to-move list is starting to take shape. That tells you everything. Because when insiders begin tiering your roster into untouchable, likely to move, and wouldn't be shocking, that means the front office is preparing for something bigger than just tweaking the bottom line. This matters because it hints at who could be traded first, and what kind of direction Brad Treliving is actually leaning toward. Before we break this down, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing toward 600 subscribers. And if you're locked in with the Leafs every single day like I am, help us get there. This is a channel for real fans, and we're building it together. All right, let's talk about this list, because it paints a very clear picture. So here's what's happening. Even though Toronto is riding some momentum, there's still serious talk that the Leafs could be sellers at the deadline, especially if they aren't fully confident they can hang in the playoff race. Management wants to compete. Of course they do. But the reality? This roster holds valuable assets, and if this team is retooling instead of going all in, certain names are far more likely to move than others. According to Jonas Siegel's breakdown, there are tiers, from untouchable to almost guaranteed to move. Let's start with the 3 names considered likeliest to move: Calle Jarnkrok, Scott Laughton, Bobby McMann. And honestly, it makes sense. Let's talk McMann first. He's having a career year, he's producing, he's physical, he's valuable. But he's also 30 years old and headed toward a big pay raise as a free agent. If Toronto believes this is peak value, moving him now for something like a first-round pick plus could be considered smart asset management. That's cold, but it's business. And as much as I love what he's brought this year, if someone offers premium value for a year and a half of production, you have to at least listen. Now, Scott Laughton. This one is more emotional. He's a locker room guy. He fits the culture. Teammates respect him, but he's not getting younger. If this team shifts toward youth, and they already have options internally for bottom 6 roles, he becomes movable. Could a desperate contender overpay? Maybe. And if that happens, Treliving probably picks up the phone. Then there's Jarnkrok. Let's be honest, this one feels almost inevitable. He's been a healthy scratch. He's 34, pending free agent. Production has slipped, and there's even talk about him going back to Sweden next year. If you can get anything for him instead of nothing, you take it. That's just reality. Now, the next category is interesting. Deals that wouldn't be shocking but also aren't guaranteed. Simon Benoit, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Felipe Myers, Troy Stecher, Nick Robertson. Let's start with Ekman-Larsson. This one hurts to even think about. He's having a resurgence. 34 points in 57 games, 8 goals, 26 assists. His best production since his Arizona days. He's been our most consistent blue liner, which makes him incredibly valuable. Top 4 defenseman, can run a power play, under contract at a very reasonable $3.5 million AAV for 2 more seasons. That is trade gold, and that's exactly why this is dangerous. Moving him for draft capital might make sense on paper, but you risk destabilizing the room, especially when guys like Matthews and Nylander want to compete, not reset. That's where this gets delicate. Benoit and Myers? Depth guys. If they move, it won't shake the league. But Toronto also needs bodies if other defensemen leave. Troy Stecher? Honestly, I'd keep him. He's a glue guy, plays hard, logs big minutes, came in off waivers and gave this team stability. Unless someone wildly overpays, he feels more valuable staying than going. And then there's Nick Robertson. 6 months ago, trade bait. Now, different story, career high in assists. On pace to break his personal best in goals and points. Energy is up. Forechecking improved, defense improved. He's 24, restricted free agent, fits a retool timeline. Trading him now could be the classic Leafs mistake. Watching a young player explode somewhere else while we regret it for 5 years? That's a risk I'm not sure you take. So, what does this likely to move list really tell us? It tells us this team is at a crossroads. They're not fully committing to a rebuild. They're not fully committing to an all-in push. They're balancing on the edge. If the Leafs sell, it's probably going to start with expiring forwards like Jarnkrok, Laughton, or McMann. If they get bold, Ekman-Larsson becomes the blockbuster domino. And if they panic, that's when mistakes happen. As a fan, I'm torn. Part of me says retool smart, sell high, fix past asset mismanagement. Part of me says we finally have some momentum. Why break it now? But one thing's clear. This deadline isn't just about players, it's about identity. Are we competing or recalibrating? The next few weeks are going to answer that. Now I want to hear from you. Who on that list would you move first? McMahon, Latin, OEL, or do you ride this streak and hold steady? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk like real Leafs fans. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. We're getting close to Nick's 100 subscribers. And every single one of you makes Leafs Nation Report stronger. I'm Victor, and no matter what direction this team chooses, we're in it together. Go Leafs, go!